Is this the way you should live your life?
Be strong, but not rude.
Be kind,
But not weak. Be bold, but not a bully. Be thoughtful.
but not lazy.
Be humble, but not timid. Be proud, but not arrogant. To have humor, but without folly.
Get real lessons on life, finances, relationships. Get real with Dani Johnson.
Dani Johnson.
The Dani Johnson Show.
Dani Johnson Show. Dani Johnson Show.
Welcome to the Dani Johnson Show. We're really blessed that you decided to join us today. Hey, I think that today you and I should explore what the life looks like of an entrepreneur. Now, you might be saying right now, Dani, I have no interest in being an entrepreneur. That's okay. But I want to just point something out. I believe that all of us were made for some kind of entrepreneurial life. I do. If you look at just, let's go back to the beginning of time, everyone supported themselves on their own. They had their own businesses, whether that was farms and they traded different types of vegetables or fruits or cattle or sheep or whatever. Or some people, made their own goods using the sheep to create clothing, or people that did woodworking and sold things or build homes for people or tents or whatever. So I know that humans in general, we have this thing inside of us that, hey, I'd like to start a business or own my own farm or own my own business or whatever. Now, you might be thinking right now, but Dani, I work for somebody else. I don't need to learn about entrepreneurialism. Yes, you do. I'm going to tell you why. Whether you're a mom and you're home with your kids and you're raising your kids, or you are in the workplace, the entrepreneurial mindset leads to success if it's done correctly. And I believe that if you want to succeed better in your career, in your job, that if you put on the entrepreneurial mindset, then you will have greater success in that job. It's how people move up through the ranks inside of a company or a corporation. It is not the employee mindset that moves people up. It's an entrepreneurial mindset that moves people up. What's the difference? If you spend any time with us here on this show, you've heard me talk about two different populations. 98% of the population that's either dead or dead broke at the age of 65, dependent on their family, friends, and federal government for their main source of income, or 2% of the population that is financially independent. The only difference between those that are super successful and those that are not is the way they think. And how we think determines what decisions we make and what direction we go in and how we speak about ourselves and others. And so in today's show, because every day, 7 days a week on the Dani Johnson Show, we're always talking about success. And we're talking about the things that help us to become more successful and things that have to be removed out of our way so that we can succeed. One of the things that I see in the marketplace, especially with our clients that have come to us who are very rare because these people are looking for help. They actually want to do better. The place that I see is that we have this culture that has taught people with an employee mindset to do as little as possible so that you don't get fired, right? So meaning I'm only going to work as hard as I have to so I don't lose my job. And unfortunately, this breeds a mindset inside of the employer that I am only going to pay them enough so they don't quit. This is very dysfunctional. This is not helpful to the market. It's not helpful to the people. And so there's all kinds of dysfunction that happens inside of companies. But when we marry the two, when we marry the true entrepreneurial mindset, which means you're taking ownership, you're taking risks, you're making investments in the place in which you are working, this mindset helps to create better opportunity and makes you far more valuable out there in the marketplace. So why, if you're a stay-at-home parent, should you be listening to today's show? Well, for the same reason that an employee should be listening to the show, for the same reason an entrepreneur should be listening to today's show. Why? Because that same entrepreneurial thinking, because it's a very successful way of thinking. I'm not saying all entrepreneurs are successful, but in order for us to succeed in raising children, we're going to have to take risks. We're going to have to go against the grain. We're going to have naysayers are going to come against us. In order for us to succeed in our jobs, we're going to have to take risks. We're going to have to learn some new things. We're going to have people that will stand against us, and we have to learn to come against those naysayers and still forge ahead. Entrepreneurs have goals that they set. They have a plan in place. They do their best to follow that plan. They encounter great problems. They have to push through those problems. So today we're going to do some interviews with some of our clients and talk about their businesses, how they got started in business, what business they chose to get into, what problems that they had in those businesses, what were some of the solutions that they found in those businesses. And first today, joining me is Elizabeth. And Elizabeth, love this girl. I actually just spent some time with her in Ohio, Cincinnati, Ohio. We just came out of a First Steps to Success. And Elizabeth Miller and her husband are actually entrepreneurs. However, These two actually came from the Amish culture. Beautiful, beautiful husband and wife and beautiful children. She's actually pregnant right now with, I think, number 4. I think it's number 4. We're going to find out. But Elizabeth Miller, welcome to the Dani Johnson Show. I'm so excited to have you here with us today to share your entrepreneurial journey because I think, first of all, it's inspiring to other people. Second of all, we're going to kind of talk about the good, bad, and ugly of being in business and how to be able to handle the good, bad, and the ugly. Because you have to learn how to handle the good, you have to learn how to handle the bad, and you have to handle the ugly. Wouldn't you say that to be true, Elizabeth, as a woman in business?
Yes, Dani.
It's very, very true. Some people have this idea of success as being always good. No. Success includes bad and ugly. So, Elizabeth, tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from?
Hi, Dani. Thanks for having me today. I am from Indiana, Kitchewana, Indiana.
Okay, awesome. And are you pregnant with your 4th kid?
Number 5.
Number
That's my 6th pregnancy, but my 5th child.
5th child. Okay, now you and your husband own pretzel shops. That's what you own right now. Now, and you grew up Amish. You and your husband grew up Amish. You guys are no longer a part of the Amish religion. But first of all, let's start here. How in the world did you ever hear about DaniJohnson.com?
I actually heard about DaniJohnson.com from a friend who at the time was working for us. She was one of my employees, and we were going through it. It was a time that I was seeking for answers for our business, and we were struggling with our partners, and she had a friend of hers. Somebody gave her a book called Success.
Spirit-driven success. Yeah, it was spirit-driven success.
Spirit-driven success.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, spirit-driven success book. And in there, it talked about business, which was my life, and it also talked about the Lord, which was my life as well, and how you had believed in baptism, and you were going to be in our area. So I wanted to check it out.
So you came out to a First Steps to Success, and you've had tremendous success since then. Tell us what has happened to your business and your finances since you've plugged into the training seminars.
Since we've plugged into the training from you, Dani, is absolutely amazing. It broke many, many mindsets of believing that, for one, that I was on top, and that we were doing great, but it's taken us so much further. Most in relationships, we have paid off financially. We have paid off $239,000 in debt, which was May of 2012. Was from Chicago was our first event. We have invested $284,000, and we paid cash for our home. At the time, we were living in a camper. We had to sell. We didn't have to, but we had built a brand new home, our Amish home, and it didn't have electric, and we had a lot of money wrapped into it. Wow. And so we sold it and traded it in for a RV camper. And so when we came home from your event, it just burst vision, and we went and paid cash for our home.
Wow.
We have $217,000 in our savings. Our business has just grown tremendously. We were for 2 years working on birthing franchise with our company, and within a year, it had all came forth, and it was blocked because of relationships. It couldn't go forth. It couldn't continue how it was. There was something blocking it, and no matter how hard we worked, it wouldn't go.
Yep. But
after we plugged into DaniJohnson.com, it just the floodgates opened, opportunities, relationships, everything just bloomed.
Wow. Okay, so the name of your business is what?
Ben's Soft Pretzels.
Ben's Soft Pretzels. Now, that is predominantly in the Indiana area. Is that correct?
We have a few franchises. We just sold our first franchise in Florida, in Bradenton, Florida.
Nice.
It opened I think it's like 2 weeks ago, and then we have one in Wisconsin,
Nice.
and then we have one in Texas, actually, just a small at the Canton Farmers Market.
Uh-huh. That's
We
awesome.
have one there, but mostly we're just here in Indiana is where we're mostly at.
That's so awesome. Okay, so congratulations, because when you first came to First Steps to Success, you guys had a business, but you had reached a blockage. Man, it would not grow.
Yes.
It would not go where you wanted to go. You're living in a camper. You had over $200,000 worth of debt. So since you've learned the skills of developing better relationships with the people that you're working with and with the public, relationships obviously internally, externally, you've learned the financial skills. You've paid off over $200,000 worth of debt. You've now made investments of over $200,000, and you have over $200,000 in the bank. Whatever. I mean, this is a crazy story. I wish you could see this young lady. She's so beautiful, first of all, but you are so soft-spoken. You are so non-pushy, and people would not look at you and think that you are a business owner and a successful business owner who now has franchised your pretzel store. Now, let's go back to the beginning. Now, how in the world did you guys get into the pretzel business? You know, whenever I see different business, I'm like, how in the world did someone come up with that? You know what I mean? So how did you get involved in the pretzel business? And obviously it's a profitable business. It's a good business to be in.
It does very well. We are very blessed. It actually goes way back to at the age of 20, we started a bakery. Just baking cookies out of my home.
Uh-huh.
And from there, it took us to a journey of moving. We grew up in Michigan, and then we moved into an area called Shipshewana, which is a very tourist town.
Uh-huh.
And there had lots of people, and there was a flea market. So my husband and I took a big leap of faith. He quit his factory. He was working at the factory at the time, and he quit, and we just went all in to our bakery. We started a bakery down there. We didn't know anybody. We just saw opportunity.
Wow.
And
tourists like to buy cookies. Is that what you were thinking?
Yeah.
I make some pretty good cookies, and tourists like to eat cookies. Ta-da! We have a business. See, that really right there is an entrepreneur. Now, this is really funny, and again, I'm gonna take apart everything that you say, as well as our next guest that we're gonna have on. But here's what it is: the entrepreneurial mindset looks for opportunity. There's opportunity all around us, right? Now, most of us would just go to the flea market and be the one buying the cookies. But here, this 20-year-old and her husband are like, hey, hold on a second. We can make cookies and we can make some money. I think that's pretty awesome. This is Dani Johnson. We're going to get more into the mindset of an entrepreneur right after this.
Stay tuned for more of The Dani Johnson Show.
Radio talk show host Dani Johnson in Kadwa, Haiti.
Hi, I'm Dani Johnson, and I'm here with Vida in her tiny little home. This home is the size of many people's closets in the United States of America. We're sitting on a bed, just a piece of sheet or plastic that these beautiful babies sleep on. They have nothing. This family has nothing. No water, no food, nothing. Won't you do something? The Bible says that if you ignore the cry of the poor, then you too will cry and be ignored. They're not asking for nice clothes. They're asking for food. That's it. Food, water. You can help. We want to build her a home. We want to bring water, clean, fresh water here. But we can't do it alone. We need you.
Help us radically change a community. Go to kingsransom.org to make your donation to Kadwa, Haiti. That's kingsransom.org.
If you know me at all, I don't want you to spend a penny more than you have to on anything. This is one of those things. If you're a business owner and accept credit cards, you're paying too much unless you're working with my friend Kevin Sykes at Prestige Merchant Solutions. He is so confident that he can save you money, he'll actually pay you $100. Listen, if you accept credit cards, check it out. Call 850-200-0709. That's 850-200-0709. Kevin guarantees 5-star service, guarantees he'll save you money or pay you $100. No risk, so why wait? Call today. It's quick to change from your current service, incredibly reliable, 24/7 support, and payments are processed quickly. Tell him Danny told you to call. There's nothing to lose. Call 850-200-0709 or visit them at prestigemerchantsolutions.com. Is God calling you to the entertainment industry? Do you want to rise for Him? Do you want to be an actor, model, singer, or dancer and shine for God? Do you think the world needs better role models? Do you want to be a star for the Most High God? Actors, models, and talent for Christ is coming to a city near you. A new generation of Christian performers is rising. Call 800-STAR-420 or go to amtcaudition.com. God gave you talent for a reason, and that is to shine for Him. So we are searching for actors, models, singers, and dancers. Go to amtcaudition.com to find out when and where the next free audition will be held. Entertainment is the best opportunity for Christians to change the world, and the time is now. Are you ready for that call? 800-STAR-420 or go to amtcaudition.com. That's actors, models, and talent for Christ. Register for your audition today.
If you're a Christian who's paying too much for healthcare, you're going to love Medishare. It's a nationwide community of believers who share each other's medical bills. It's affordable. Families average around $300 a month, and it's accepted by America's largest network of health providers. Plus, the healthcare law has a special provision for Medishare members, so you're exempt from any tax penalties. But here's the best part. Medishare is based on the timeless principles found in God's Word. You never have to pay for things that go against your beliefs. Medishare is healthcare the way God meant it to be.
Learn how thousands of Christians can help you save on your healthcare. For your free information guide, call 855-90-BIBLE. Not available in Montana. Medishare, affordable biblical healthcare. Call 855-90-BIBLE. That's 855-90-BIBLE.
Do you want to win your favorite nonprofit some money? Could your nonprofit use part of $1 million? The Super Service Challenge is a nationwide movement encouraging people to serve the charity of their choice, better their community, and share about how they volunteered. Participating is easy. Grab some coworkers, serve the nonprofit of your choice, and create a short video telling your story at superservicechallenge.com or by using the free downloadable app. Ask family and friends to vote for your video on Super Service Challenge website. Every 25 votes gets you one more entry into the prize drawing. If your video is selected as a winner, the nonprofit you serve will receive part of $1 million in prize money. They've given away almost $3 million in funding to great causes in the past, and a nonprofit of your choice could be next. The Super Service Challenge accepts entries through November 30th, 2014. So what are you waiting for? Go to superservicechallenge.com and sign up now. That's superservicechallenge.com.
We're back. Here's Dani Johnson.
I think one thing that can absolutely change our country and even other parts of the world is for us to learn how an entrepreneur thinks. Learn how successful people think. I know that not all entrepreneurs are successful. Most of them are not. However, the successful ones have a basis, have a foundation inside of their brain, inside of their heart, inside of the way that they actually live their lives that breeds success. And you know the Dani Johnson Show every single day is here to uncover what success looks like, to redefine it, because often many of us have the wrong definition for success. We all have been knitted together in our mother's womb. We all have the hairs on our head numbered. We all have a totally unique, different thumbprint. There is not another person out there like you, and there's not another one out there like me. As much as my oldest daughter looks and sounds like me, she's not me, and I am not her. We each have our own makeup. Therefore, we each have our own destiny, my friend. And so in uncovering your destiny, part of it is learning, wow, wait a second, how did I learn the way that I'm thinking? Who taught me this stuff that I've got running through my head? head? And is this really me? Is this where I really want to go? Which is why on the Dani Johnson Show, we are redefining success and we are uncovering the pitfalls, the limitations, so we can remove them out of our lives and learn new strategies. And today we're putting the focus on being an entrepreneur. If you're not an entrepreneur, listen to this show. Why? Because you can take the very mindsets of an entrepreneur into your job and you're going to get promoted. You're going to get bonuses. You're going to move to the top. Who knows? You might own that business someday. If you're a stay-at-home parent and you're raising kids, you want to raise your kids with an entrepreneurial mindset. Why? Because it is a risk-taking, faith-walking way of living that says there's opportunity out there and I want to seize that opportunity. Now, of course, we need to have balance. And of course, we need good character. And we talk about those things all the time on this show. But today, I have a friend of mine, Elizabeth Miller. She's a client of ours. She's been with us for the last 2 years and 3 months or so. She's paid off over $200,000 in debt. She has learned how to make over $250,000 of investments that she has, income-producing assets, as well as over $200,000 now in the bank from what she's learned at First Steps to Success, which the next one coming up is in Austin, Texas, January 17th, 18th, and 19th. Elizabeth, we're talking about how they first got started. They own pretzel stores, and they've just franchised their pretzel stores. So I always look at these different businesses and go, how in the world did you get started in that? Right? Now, one of the things we uncovered in the very first segment of the show is that she saw an opportunity. They were 20 years old. She was baking cookies out of her house. She was Amish. She saw that there's a fair or like a flea market in an area and says, hey, tourists go to that thing. We'll sell them some cookies. Her husband quits his job at the factory. They start baking some cookies. Ta-da, they're in business. Now, how can you use that mindset in your everyday job? How can you use that mindset at home? Easy. Come on. Look for opportunity to grow. Look where there is a way to make more money. Look for where there is a way where you can fill a need. Look at what people are buying and go sell it to them. That makes you more profitable and more valuable out there in the marketplace. So Elizabeth, so you're 20 years old, your husband quits his job, you guys start baking cookies out of your house, you're selling cookies. What happened from there? Like where did it go from there?
We moved an area where we had an opportunity at a bulk food store, like a big bulk food store. I just got this idea that if we could bake there, that would be amazing. Like maybe we could bake there. I didn't know, so I just stopped in there one day and I asked them if there would be a chance. And when I was actually in the office to ask, I felt like the biggest heel, thinking this is so ridiculous. I didn't know them.
So you hold on a second. So you cold called a company. You just walked into that business and said, "Hey, can I bake my cookies here and we can be in business together?"
Yeah.
Okay, now hold on a second. That right there is a childlike faith. And you need a childlike faith to succeed. That right there is not creating fear and barriers in front of you. You didn't sit there and ask yourself, okay, what if they say no? You didn't sit there and look at the front of that store and go, what if they say no? What if I look like an idiot? What if this doesn't work? What if I fail? You didn't put all that junk in your head. You literally just got an idea. You're standing in front of a store and you're like, I wonder if they'll let me bake my cookies in there. And you went and asked. And what did they say, Elizabeth?
You know what? He said the most incredible thing. You couldn't imagine what he said.
What?
He said that he's looking for someone to do that. And he said, come here, I'll show you where you can have it. He didn't even know who I was.
Okay, hold on. I got to catch my breath on this one. And what do people do? I can't find a job. And they don't even try. But an entrepreneurial mindset thinks it, acts on it. This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue after this.
You are listening to The Dani Johnson Show. Stay tuned for more of Dani Johnson in just a moment.
If you love to cook, but you hate planning, you'll love emails. Emails completely removes the pressures of planning healthy and budget-friendly meals. Every week, your emails plan comes straight into your inbox with easy recipes and a shopping list. Then all the ingredients you need for yummy meals are already in the house after you go to the grocery store. And you could save an average of $1,000 this year. Emails.com makes healthy cooking inexpensive and simple. Go to emails.com and start your free 14-day trial today.
Are you a talented actor, model, singer, or dancer? Have you held back because you don't know where to start or who to trust? What if your time was now? Actors, Models, and Talent for Christ is coming to a city near you. Go to amtcaudition.org for a list of cities and dates. AMTC is a nonprofit ministry with a mission to find, prepare, and launch God's talent. The entertainment industry is the most influential mission field in the world. Actors, Models, and Talent for Christ. amtcaudition.org.
You tell yourself that life isn't that bad. You relish the small pleasures. Drive-through coffee, big screen TV, vacations bought on credit cards. But that's as good as life gets unless you take a leap of faith. This is millionaire author, radio and television show host Dani Johnson, inviting you to join me for 2 days where you will acquire the skills to make the life you crave a reality. Call now 844-200-DANI or visit firststepstosuccess.com.
Now, more of the Dani Johnson Show.
Are you one of those people that you think of an idea and then you talk yourself out of it? Thank God Elizabeth wasn't that person. Elizabeth Miller, one of our clients, we're interviewing her about her business. Her and her husband own a series of franchises for pretzel stores. So we're digging underneath the story and we're kind of picking apart the entrepreneurial mind and the good, the bad, the ugly, and finding out how did somebody start this type of a business and why are we doing that? For 2, 3, 4, 10 reasons. This show is about success, right? This show is about uncovering the secrets to it, as well as the pitfalls that we put up all by ourselves, the barriers we create for ourselves, and how to move past them. And so each day we topple over a different topic concerning success because we want holistic success all over our entire lives. So today we're talking about business and being an entrepreneur. You can apply what she's talking about in your home. You can apply what she's talking about at work if you're working for somebody else, or you can apply it to your very business. All right, so Elizabeth, this is crazy. So you get this idea, okay, I'm baking cookies in my house. We started our own little business. We're selling them at the flea market. That's working really well. You come to a store and you just walk in and you say, hey, will you let me bake my cookies in your store? And he says, I'm looking for someone to do that. That's a God thing. That's a God factor right there. I believe he illuminates ideas in many of us for the reason for us to act upon them right away and step out in faith. And it really does take a childlike faith to succeed in anything. In anything, it takes a childlike faith to have success. And Elizabeth, that's what you have. You got to hold on to that childlike faith like crazy. You're inspiring me. Okay, so he says, yes, sure. Okay, so now you're baking cookies in somebody else's store. You obviously now have some kind of a partnership with this guy. He's making a profit from your cookies. You're making a profit from your cookies. You're in your 20s and you're making money.
Yep. And my husband, which I have to say, I would not have been able to do all of that if he wouldn't have always. I mean, he was always the one that helped all along. We were together in a team. And so we're making cookies, and he quit his job, and he was making, I don't remember, a big amount of money in those days, and we went to making nothing. I remember one day we made, I think it was a little over $1 an hour each of us, but we just laughed. We really, I don't even know where we got it from, but we worked all night. We worked, and then a door opened for another farmer's market, and so it was on a Saturday, and so I started to take my baked goods there, and then through that, there was a gal. I had a booth next to this lady that was making pretzels, and then she had looked over the counter and asked me if I'd be interested in buying her pretzel company. Her pretzel store. It was called Mama's Soft Pretzels. And so I was like, well, we need income, and we're coming here anyways. Why not? And so we bought that pretzels, but the day that we purchased it, she said we don't get the name or the recipe, and I had never made a pretzel.
Then how are you buying her pretzel business? If she can't, we're not going to give you the recipe, and you don't have the name, how in the world are you buying a pretzel business from her?
Yeah, that's what we said. We said, well, we're willing to pay for the equipment and stuff, but we're not willing to pay above if we don't even know how. We don't know what we're doing. But it's been the greatest blessing ever to have.
Okay, so hold on, Elizabeth. Hold on right here, because I'm going to pick this apart too, because I want to make sure that nobody misses the success tips as the successful entrepreneur is talking. Number one, you don't have to know how to do everything that you want to do. All entrepreneurs are like that. They don't have to know how. They step out in faith and learn what they have to learn. Number two, opportunity is always around us. It's always around us. It drives me crazy, Elizabeth, when I see people saying they can't find jobs. They don't have enough money. They can't do this. They can't do that. Because all of us are human. All of us have the ability to have a childlike faith. All of us are surrounded by opportunity. There's so much money flying around every single one of us every single day, and we just can't see it. It's all about how we think, and it's all about how we approach life. So now you get offered to buy a pretzel store. You know nothing about pretzels. Nothing about pretzel equipment, nothing about how to make pretzels. You probably know that there's flour in pretzels, but that's probably about it. So you buy this pretzel store, and what takes place after that?
We get no recipe, so we had to come up with something. So we created one.
Okay, hold on. I'm so sorry to interrupt you again. There we are right there. We have no recipe. You know, some people stop right there. Some people do a table flip. I quit. I don't know how to do it. I don't have a recipe. What if my recipe fails? What if it doesn't work? Excuse. People have that attitude on their jobs, and they can't figure out why they're not getting a raise. People have that attitude at home. They can't figure out why the problems get bigger. People have that attitude about their health. They can't figure out why they're getting bigger. They have this attitude about money. I don't have the money. I don't ever have any money. Nobody in my family has ever had any money. This is what they do, and this is why they stay stuck. That's why I'm telling you. Learn the mindset of an entrepreneur. A successful one. Learn the mindset. Learn how they think. Learn how they act. Learn how they make decisions. They have success for a reason. And it usually is because of the opposite of what everybody else has, the way they think and how they make decisions. So look, instead of whining and crying about the fact that you don't have a pretzel recipe, you have pretzel equipment. You bought a pretzel business without the name and without the recipe. You don't sit there and whine and cry and blame and kick the dog. That wouldn't be a very Amish thing to do. But instead, you just go, okay, let's figure one out. That is the success principle. Let's figure it out. Let's find a way. There's always a way. Go for it. So you figure it out.
Yep. So I just took a recipe book and we played with it. I would try it, and we made breads in our bakery. So I had played, I knew the bread dough, the yeast, it's a yeast product, but yet it was different. And so we started to serve them out at that market. And what kept us going everybody was like, these are better than the other ones. These are amazing. And it's
so awesome. Right, and look at this, Elizabeth. I mean, you could have sat there and said, what if my pretzels stink? What if no one buys them? What if all the customers say these pretzels are terrible? Where's the other pretzel lady? You didn't waste your time with thinking like that. You just created a recipe and it turned out to be better.
Yep. And to this day, we've never changed it. We've stuck to that recipe. It's been 10 years now that we've been in the pretzel business. And from there, it just grew. That was our first location, and then we brought it home to our Shipshawana, which the flea market, where we first started taking our cookies in Shipshawana. Mm-hmm. We took it. We have a booth in there, and it just grew. Like it just went. My husband put another like a little store. And we were still Amish at the time, and we would think, like, if we could only, I had never been in a mall, and we would think if we could get those in the malls, like, that would be so amazing. And so my husband had a hunting buddy that was in sales with the RV industry, and he, the RV industry, in I believe it was 2008, took a big dump, and so they were very they needed jobs, they needed something to do, and so he asked my husband if they could join our company and take it out into the marketplace.
Wow!
And so Scott Jones and Brian Kreider, they joined our pretzel company, and they're the ones that, like, the one is has the mind for the all the advertisement and all of that.
Marketing.
And they're the ones that marketing, and they took it out to our first small location, which was in like a few years later. Was our first mall location. We were still Amish at the time, and so they were the wheels behind to getting it.
They were the electricity.
To get the electricity.
Exactly.
Yes.
Man, that's exciting. And so then here we are today. You have several stores now planted in various different parts of the country, Florida, Texas, Indiana. I'm so proud of you, Elizabeth. I really am. In this last segment, we're just going to have a few minutes. I want you to be thinking about something that you can say to our viewers and listeners of this Dani Johnson Show. Something that you can say to them that would encourage them to put on that entrepreneur mindset, to step out and do something versus just wallowing in your negativity rather than wallowing in your problems. I want you to think about it, maybe one tip that you can give that you believe has helped you in building this very successful pretzel business, you and your husband both. It's a family business. She's pregnant with her 5th child. She could be using that as an excuse, but the woman is building her business anyway, no matter what the market is, by the way. Yeah, give me a break. Anyway, this is Dani Johnson. I'm so excited to hear what her tip is for business success as an entrepreneur. No matter what the market is, there's always opportunity out there. We'll continue with more Redefining Success on the Dani Johnson Show right after this.
Hey, have you done a favor for your best friend yet? Then do it now. Share this program with them. The Dani Johnson Show, helping hundreds of thousands of people just like you make life more enjoyable and rewarding. The Dani Johnson Show.
If you know me at all, I don't want you to spend a penny more than you have to on anything. This is one of those things. If you're a business owner and accept credit cards, you're paying too much unless you're working with my friend Kevin Sykes at Prestige Merchant Solutions. He is so confident that he can save you money, he'll actually pay you $100. Listen, if you accept credit cards, check it out. Call 850-200-0709. That's 850-200-0709. Kevin guarantees 5-star service. Guarantees he'll save you money or pay you $100. No risk. So why wait? Call today. It's quick to change from your current service, incredibly reliable, 24/7 support, and payments are processed quickly. Tell him Dani told you to call. There's nothing to lose. Call 850-200-0709 or visit them at prestigemerchantsolutions.com. You know, I teach that cooking healthy, simple, and inexpensive meals is key to saving money, but I know how hard it is to meal plan. It takes a lot of time. This is why you need emails. Emails does the planning for you. Emails send you a written plan every week that is easy to follow and stick to. You buy only what you need and you save a ton of time and money. Emails has a team of culinary professionals and clinical dietitians who create new weekly plans for you with healthy and delicious recipes. Emails plans are based on food styles like clean eating, paleo, diabetic, and slow cooker, and so much more. And because your plan is consistently well crafted for you, the average emails user saves over $1,000 on groceries every year. What's not to love about that? Emails.com makes healthy cooking at home simple and inexpensive. You need to get emails in your life today. Go to emails.com and start your 14-day free trial today. You are going to love me for this. That's emails.com. Go there now.
Get ready to live the uncommon life. Here's Dani Johnson.
Have you ever had a dream and just kind of held yourself back? Have you ever had an idea and then talked yourself out of it? Have you ever been in that place where, gosh, you just found yourself going, I really wish I would have, could have, should have? There's a lot of people out there like that, friend. And on this journey called success, you're going to have to break through all of those kinds of thoughts and live a life with a childlike faith. There's opportunity all around you. There is. It's been talking to you. There's ideas that have floated into your head, and yet maybe you haven't acted upon them. There's something that does happen when you act in wisdom upon some of those ideas. But Dani, how do I know which idea to act upon? You know what? If you're the person that doesn't act upon any of them, I'd try any of them at this point. I would. I have to tell you this quick story. I had this gentleman. He was a friend, associate, kind of my husband's back when they were in high school. And they grew up in Hawaii, and he had heard about my success and had become a millionaire in 2 years. And he actually knew me before I had become a millionaire. And he kind of put his nose up to the industry that I was a part of and thought he was better than us. Well, then years fly by, and who was better yet? He was broke and we were not. And so, he came to me and asked this question. He says, Dani, how do you know which stocks to invest in? And I said, well, what do you mean by that? He goes, I had the opportunity to buy stock in Snapple before Snapple was Snapple, and I didn't do it. He goes, I also had opportunity to buy stock in Federal Express when the stocks were really low, and I didn't do it. And I said, well, at this point, you might want to just jump on something. He had the opportunity, and it's so funny. He was explaining the Snapple idea, where he says, I had my friend. He called me about this new drink, this new beverage that's supposed to be revolutionary, and it was this iced tea that had these kind of flavors. It was non-carbonated. And he goes, and I just, I figured Coca-Cola and Pepsi pretty much have the corner on the beverage market, so I don't think it's gonna work. He goes, the name of that company is Snapple. I was like, oh my gosh, he really missed it. And why? Opportunity does come knocking. And if we are the people who have a habit of always saying, no, I'm not going to do that. No, that's not going to work. I don't think I'm going to like that. What if I lose? What if I lose money? What if I waste time? We can talk ourselves out of it all the time. But something I can tell you, the entrepreneurial mindset is one that says, let me check that out. Let me look into that. Yes. And we learn what the good yeses were and what the bad yeses were, because sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. That's the reality of being an entrepreneur. But I promise you this, you've heard this before. If you do not swing, you'll never hit a home run. But if you swing a lot, you have a chance, at least, at being in the game. You miss 100% of the shots you do not take. I know you've heard that before, and I think you were supposed to hear that right now. Joining me right now for this whole hour has been Elizabeth Miller from Indiana. She's a client of ours. She's a former Amish woman who now her and her husband have a series of pretzel stores. They have franchised this business. They've been sharing their story about how they started. It literally has been just a walk of faith. That's what it's been. Getting an idea, acting on it. Getting another idea, acting on it. Getting another idea, acting on it. Not wasting time in the problems, but just forging ahead in the solutions. Now they have paid off a crazy amount of debt. In fact, Elizabeth, as we wrap up this portion of the show, you've paid off how much debt since coming to First Steps to Success?
$239,000.
You've paid off $239,000 worth of debt. You guys now have how much in income-producing assets? You said 200 and what?
That's just what we have since Dani Johnson, we've invested $284.
Wow. Into assets, and then you have how much in savings?
We have $217,000 in savings.
Such a radical success story. They were living in a trailer before they came out to First Steps to Success, and now have paid cash for a home, have franchised a business, have grown tremendously. Elizabeth, what do you say to either that stay-at-home mother, or that person in a job, or the entrepreneur that's stuck? Because I'm sure you've been in places that you were stuck. What's one tip that you could give us today that can help each one of us, no matter what demographic we're in, to get unstuck?
One tip that really comes to my mind is to stay persistent, to keep going, not to listen to the voice of what if it doesn't work, what if I'm going to fail, what if it doesn't turn out. Rather replace those thoughts with what if it does, what if I can make it happen, or take a step out in faith and just try it. Yep. What if it does work? And also highly recommend to seek wise counsel of someone who has been successful. Take advice from someone who has been there, who is successful, not someone that doesn't have a business and is living off of welfare checks on how to run my business, but someone who has had a business and a successful business and can teach and take wise counsel from them, I recommend Dani Johnson.
Elizabeth, thank you for that. I appreciate that. One thing that I wanted to ask you is when you guys, when you were 20 and you had this idea to bake cookies in your house and go sell them at the flea market, to start that business doing that, and your husband quitting his job, right, to go all in for that business, tell me something. Did you have anybody in your life that was telling you that you were nuts, crazy, and stupid?
You know what? If I did, I didn't hear him. I didn't really.
Especially when you guys are young people, you have a young family, your husband's quitting his guaranteed job, his guaranteed paycheck to start a bakery with his wife. And so you're saying, if I did, I didn't hear him. You tuned out any negativity that you possibly could have heard.
Yeah. It was just, honestly, I didn't doubt, and it didn't matter. I grew up in a very frugal way, and so living very, very frugal was a huge key and a blessing to know that we didn't spend more than we made.
Yep.
We didn't spend. We didn't have to live. We didn't live. I know we never lived like anybody else. Like, we were very oddballs in the community because we just worked our business, and that was our life, and we did a lot of things different that nobody else did, but it didn't matter to us. We didn't care.
Yep. So have you, in recent times, with franchising or whatever, have you encountered problems that you've had people trying to be negative about those problems?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And that's where you have to persist. That's where you have to forge ahead. And that's what you have to look at. Who's talking to you? Who's trying to discourage you? Who's trying to be the naysayer, dream stealer, stomp all over your goal person in your life, and look at their life. And if they don't have goals, and if they don't have the success that you want, and if they are not somebody that's living a life that you desire to live, they're not the kind of person with the kind of character that you want to be, then you don't listen to them. Wise counselors are wise, and they have the fruit in their life of being wise. And as you heard Elizabeth say, don't let somebody who's receiving welfare checks tell you that your business is not going to work. No, you take advice from wise counselors who are already successful, already have a track record, who already know what they're doing based on the results that's in their life. And man, do I see that so much. So many budding, wannabe entrepreneurs, people that are wanting to spread out their wings. In fact, 43% of America says they want to start a business, but only 13% are actually in business. That's a big, huge difference. That's too many people that want to do something that don't, and I think largely is because of the naysayers that are all around them. Thanks so much, Elizabeth, for joining us today. We're going to move into hour 2. We've got another guest, another entrepreneur. You're going to be inspired again and learn some things that you can put into your everyday life. This is Dani Johnson.
Don't just stand there. Soak this up. It's joy, it's encouragement, it's insight to a better life and how to meet your obligations and overcome obstacles.
The Dani Johnson Show.
This is the Dani Johnson Show.
If you know me at all, I don't want you to spend a penny more than you have to on anything. This is one of those things. If you're a business owner and accept credit cards, you're paying too much unless you're working with my friend Kevin Sykes at Prestige Merchant Solutions. He is so confident that he can save you money, he'll actually pay you $100. Listen, if you accept credit cards, check it out. Call 850-200-0709. That's 850-200-0709. Kevin guarantees 5-star service. Guarantees he'll save you money or pay you $100. No risk, so why wait? Call today. It's quick to change from your current service, incredibly reliable, 24/7 support, and payments are processed quickly. Tell him Dani told you to call. There's nothing to lose. Call 850-200-0709 or visit them at prestigemerchantsolutions.com. You tell yourself that life isn't that bad. You relish the small pleasures. Drive-through coffee, big screen TV, vacations bought on credit cards. But that's as good as life gets unless you take a leap of faith. This is millionaire author, radio and television show host Dani Johnson, inviting you to join me for 2 days where you will acquire the skills to make the life you crave a reality. Call now 844-200-DANI or visit firststepstosuccess.com.
Get ready for Dani Johnson.
Get ready for some powerful strategies financially.
Get a grip on your finances.
2% of the population will do well financially.
Only 2%?
Learn how to unlock the financial kingdom.
Dani's got the keys. Finances, love, life, relationships.
Listen in right now to the Dani Johnson Show.
The Dani Johnson Show.
I remember when I was first introduced to the entrepreneurial lifestyle. I didn't grow up as an entrepreneur. I didn't grow up around entrepreneurs either. I grew up in a house that was filled with violence. My parents were drug addicts, and my stepfather, was violently abusive with my sisters and my mother and myself. And we had just so much turmoil in our house, and I never saw my parents get up and go to work. My mom went to school for a little bit. She was attempting to become a nurse, but that was a short-lived little experience. But outside of that, mom and dad were home when we left for school. Mom and dad were home when we got home from school. They never left the house. And there was a whole lot of drugs, a whole lot of partying, and a whole lot of fighting. And so when I first met the first set of entrepreneurs, I was kind of perplexed. They were like a different breed. They were so different than the people that I grew up with. The way they lived, the way they dressed, what they talked about was just so very different. Here on the Dani Johnson Show in hour 2, we're going to be interviewing another one of our clients about being an entrepreneur. What does it actually take to be one? What are some of the pitfalls that we face? What are some of the good things, the bad things, and the ugly things that we seem to encounter? And why are we talking about this today? Because on the Dani Johnson Show, we're always uncovering secrets to success as well as redefining success. We've all been sold a bill of goods, a lie in most cases, about what it actually takes to be successful. But here on the Dani Johnson Show, we're about telling you the truth about success, the price that really gets paid to be successful. Instead of this pie in the sky, just put up your affirmations, just believe. No, you got to pull the pie out of the sky, buy the ingredients, and bake that sucker. You cannot just hope and believe and wish upon a star and make it happen. It doesn't work that way. And so how does this apply to you if you're not an entrepreneur, if you work for somebody that is, or you're a stay-at-home parent? I believe the entrepreneurial mindset needs to invade our kids. I believe it needs to invade the workplace. Why? Because entrepreneurs take risks. They take ownership in what they are doing. They find opportunity. They create opportunity. They act on ideas. They live by faith. They have to press through hard times in order to get to the other side of the fruit of their labor, which is great harvested success. And all of us can use that, whether you're a receptionist or you work at a gas station. If you have an entrepreneurial mindset, it's going to make you more valuable there because you encounter problems there. Not only that, but if you want to grow, you're going to have to raise your skill set in order to grow. Same with raising children. You're going to encounter problems. What's your attitude when you encounter those problems? You see, an entrepreneur can't afford to have a bad attitude. Just so you know, we cannot afford to have a bad attitude. Why? Because a bad attitude hurts the paycheck. And see, it's not just our paycheck, especially if we have a staff, we have people responsible for. My bad attitude could affect 40 people, not 40 people, 40 individual people who are employed by this business and their wives or their husbands and their kids and maybe their grandkids that they might be raising. Are you understanding what I'm saying? Not to mention maybe some of the charitable things that they are doing out there. One person, one entrepreneur can't have a bad attitude at work. Cannot afford it. And so how could you benefit from that even mindset right there? That if you're an employee and you can't afford to have a bad attitude, I promise you, you're going to get raises. You're going to get promoted. You're going to be more valuable in the workplace just with that one little thing that I just said. I'm not kidding you. People with great attitudes, people who find solutions, people that don't freak out, but people who solve things, they work diligently, they bring better skill set to the workplace, they make investments in themselves, they make investments into their job. Those are the people that grow. That's just how it is. And guess what? That's an entrepreneurial mindset. Every kid needs to be taught that mindset. Every mother, every father should have that mindset in the house, right? Come on. There's bad attitudes in your house. There's bad attitudes in my house. Sometimes I've had the bad attitude in my house. None of us profit from a bad attitude, bottom line. Okay, so we've got Kevin Sykes. Kevin Sykes is a client of ours, been here for now a couple of years. He's a father, brand new baby that his wife just had. They were just in Ohio with us as well. Kevin Sykes, welcome to the Dani Johnson Show.
Thank you so much, Danny. I appreciate it.
I'm excited to have you here. So let's pick this thing apart because I really want to pull the covers off and just go, okay, how did you start as an entrepreneur? You're a very successful businessman. I'm very, very proud of you. I'm very, very proud of the work that you're doing. And I'm also proud of the heart you have as a husband, as a father, and the work that you're doing community and worldwide with taking care of orphans and things of that nature. So how did you first get started in business?
Well, I appreciate the kind words of Danny. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. For me, my entrepreneurial mindset started when I was at a young age. It started honestly with the lemonade stand, and it started with the the garage sale, selling things to people passing by. I was 3, 4, 5 years old, and my parents, it's so funny to hear them tell stories about me when I was a little kid. It seems like, the more things change, the more they stay the same. And so I've honestly been an entrepreneur for 30 years now. I just didn't quite know what it was up until, several years back, and I didn't really step into that role. But I certainly always had that deep inside me.
And so it started with selling.
Yeah, it just started with selling at a young age. I was always, I just had a way. I always wanted to get my way and, buy toys and do all those things. And in order to do that, I needed money to do it. And I basically just thought of ways to do it as a kid. I know every kid, probably most kids grow up that way.
Totally.
And I was no different in that respect.
Yeah. Which I think it's scary because so many parents rob their children of that entrepreneurial spirit by giving them everything they want. And that's a huge mistake. Kids have to learn how to earn what they want. They have to learn how to set goals. They have to learn how to work for the goals. Otherwise, they don't value the toys or the books or the video games or the clothes or the whatever. So I think it's really important. And I love that your parents allowed you to be involved with having a lemonade stand, selling stuff at a garage sale so you can make your own money, so you can make your own purchasing, which I think is awesome. Okay, so what was the very first business outside of being a kid and selling things at a garage sale and selling things at a lemonade stand? What was your first bona fide business that you got started in?
Well, the first bona fide business was actually in college. I was the age of 18 or 19 years old. And to be quite honest, the funny part is at that time, I was in college. I was in the party scene, basically how most college students, get stuck in. And frankly, I was just looking for extra beer money at the time. This was, 13 years ago.
Danny, this was just last week.
Money and beer money.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious. I had student loans, and I wanted to minimize the loans, and I am dead serious in that I just wanted to have fun back then, and so I basically started a business out of my apartment. In college.
Wow. Okay, now hold on a second. I want to interrupt you, and I'm sorry to interrupt you because I want to pull this out because here's one success tip that we can pull from just so far the part of the story that you have told. What motivates. You see, what motivated this kid when he was young is he wanted to buy his own toys. He wanted the power to purchase. So he sold things at a garage sale or he had a lemonade stand. What motivates. And so if you're an entrepreneur, you've got a staff. Not everything that motivates you motivates them. Okay, same with as a mother. What motivates you doesn't motivate your husband, and maybe it doesn't motivate your children, but you have to find what motivates each individual that you are working with. If you want your business or your family to be successful, you cannot assume that what you like or what you think is great is what they're going to be motivated by. And so in this case with Kevin, again, what birthed his entrepreneurial life in college was, I want some more beer money. What motivates? Okay, so you're 19, you start a business right from your apartment in college so you can buy more beer.
Absolutely.
Selling junk, selling lemonade, selling whatever. Okay, and so you have this new business, and what happened from there?
Well, it was an internet marketing business. I basically sold products online. I wasn't looking for anything special. I was just looking for a couple $100 extra bucks. And so for me, it was just a part-time thing. At that time, I was focused on my classes and focused on having fun.
And beer.
So for me, it was, it was just a part-time thing, buying and reselling things. Obviously just, buying retail or buying wholesale, selling retail. And so for me, that's really where it came out of. And I noticed, how easy it was once I had a good system.
Yep.
And I really kept my business costs low. My overhead was extremely low. And so what developed out of it was a more broad business. I just did the same thing, and I just repeat. And I ended up in college, I ended up starting to make, $2 or $3 grand a month, and that really started to open up my eyes in that what are the possibilities with this business, this internet retail marketing business.
Wow. Okay, so what were you studying in college, by the way?
Economics. Haven't used it since.
That's all those boring statistic classes, right?
It's one of the boring statistics classes. I started with computer engineering, then moved on to accounting, and then moved on to economics to get the diploma. But to be quite honest, I do have some regrets in that college for me, it just wasn't, because I wasn't going into a specific trade or a specific line of work. And for me, and that's why I feel so passionately about college right now, it basically put me 4 to 5 years behind where I would be entrepreneurially because I went to college. I did not learn what I know about being an entrepreneur in college whatsoever. I learned how to drink beer, and I learned how to take tests, and that's flat out, that's what it was.
You could have done that for free. You didn't have to pay.
Yeah, exactly.
You didn't have to pay to do that. Okay, so you started a business, an internet business, basically just buying somebody else's product wholesale, turning around and selling it retail online. You're making $2,000 to $3,000 a month doing that online. Did that shock you of how simple that was and how low the costs were to do that?
Not really, because I already had the blueprint. When I started out, I just knew I just did the same thing bigger and bigger, and I stepped out on faith in that I had to invest more money, I had to invest more product, because for me at the time, I didn't have a bankroll, and so I literally had to use other people's money in order to grow that business. So I did have to take a leap of faith, but, Lord willing, everything would succeed. And so that was, for me, was the biggest challenge in just expanding that business and taking a big leap of faith at that time. That was the biggest challenge.
And that took capital. So to break out of the $2,000 to $3,000 a month, it took, okay, if I want this to go bigger, I want to scale this thing, then I'm going to have to make a larger investment into it. And that's that old adage, it takes money to make money. And the reality is that it depends on how big we want to go. And at some point, it takes something. And so you said you borrowed money from other people to be able to make that investment. And that's one place that I see a lot of wannabe entrepreneurs. And I don't want to say wannabe as in it's a put down. It's that you want to become an entrepreneur, yet you use the excuse that you don't have the money. You use the excuse that you don't have the experience. And what we've heard so far in this first hour, as well as in the second hour, the first segment of the second hour, is that it's taken a leap of faith, right? And that's what it takes. It takes a leap of faith. That's why I'm telling you, an entrepreneurial mindset, a successful entrepreneur lives their life by faith. If you're not living your life by faith, you're not going to get great results. This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue with more after this.
Stay tuned for more of The Dani Johnson Show.
You know, I teach that cooking healthy, simple, and inexpensive meals is key to saving money, but I know how hard it is to meal plan, and it takes a lot of time. This is why you need Emails. Emails does the planning for you. Emails send you a written plan every week that is easy to follow and stick to. You buy only what you need, and you save a ton of time and money. Emails has a team of culinary professionals and clinical dietitians who create new weekly plans for you with healthy and delicious recipes. Emails plans are based on food styles like clean eating, paleo, diabetic, and slow cooker, and so much more. And because your plan is consistently well crafted for you, the average Emails user saves over $1,000 on groceries every year. What's not to love about that? Emails.com makes healthy cooking at home simple and inexpensive. You need to get Emails in your life today. Go to emails.com and start your 14-day free trial today. You are going to love me for this. That's emails.com. Go there now. Do you want to win your favorite nonprofit some money? Could your nonprofit use part of $1 million? The Super Service Challenge is a nationwide movement encouraging people to serve the charity of their choice, better their community, and share about how they volunteered. Participating is easy. Grab some coworkers, serve the nonprofit of your choice, and create a short video telling your story at superservicechallenge.com or by using the free downloadable app. Ask family and friends to vote for your video on Super Service Challenge website. Every 25 votes gets you one more entry into the prize drawing. If your video is selected as a winner, the nonprofit you serve will receive part of $1 million in prize money. They've given away almost $3 million in funding to great causes in the past, and a nonprofit of your choice could be next. The Super Service Challenge accepts entries through November 30th, 2014. So what are you waiting for? Go to superservicechallenge.com and sign up now. That's superservicechallenge.com. Is God calling you to the entertainment industry? Do you want to rise for Him? Do you want to be an actor, model, singer, or dancer and shine for God? Do you think the world needs better role models? Do you want to be a star for the Most High God? Actors, models, and talent for Christ is coming to a city near you. A new generation of Christian performers is rising. Call 800-STAR-420 or go to amtcaudition.com. God gave you talent for a reason, and that is to shine for Him. So we are searching for actors, models, singers, and dancers. Go to amtcaudition.com to find out when and where the next free audition will be held. Entertainment is the best opportunity for Christians to change the world, and the time is now. Are you ready for that call? 800-STAR-420 or go to amtcaudition.com. That's actors, models, and talent for Christ. Register for your audition today.
With all the changes happening in healthcare, Christians want to know, is there any option that's God-honoring, affordable, and acceptable under the law? The answer is Medishare. It's not insurance. It's a nationwide community of believers who share each other's medical bills. Unlike individual insurance plans, which are now required to cover the morning after pill, your healthcare dollars never pay for things that go against your beliefs. There's no enrollment period, so you could sign up anytime. You choose your doctors from America's largest provider network. And yes, it's affordable. Family options average around $300 a month. Medishare is healthcare Christians can believe in.
Learn how thousands of Christians can help you save on your healthcare. For your free information guide, call 855-90-BIBLE. Not available in Montana. Medishare, affordable biblical healthcare. Call 855-90-BIBLE. That's 855-90-BIBLE.
Do you want to win your favorite nonprofit some money? Could your nonprofit use part of $1 million? The Super Service Challenge is a nationwide movement encouraging people to serve the charity of their choice, better their community, and share about how they volunteered. Participating is easy. Grab some coworkers, serve the nonprofit of your choice, and create a short video telling your story at superservicechallenge.com or by using the free downloadable app. Ask family and friends to vote for your video on Super Service Challenge website. Every 25 votes gets you one more entry into the prize drawing. If your video is selected as a winner, the nonprofit you serve will receive part of $1 million in prize money. They've given away almost $3 million in funding to great causes in the past, and a nonprofit of your choice could be next. The Super Service Challenge accepts entries through November 30th, 2014. So what are you waiting for? Go to superservicechallenge.com and sign up now. That's superservicechallenge.com.
Giving you the playbook to design your life. This is the Dani Johnson Show. And now, here's Dani.
Okay, so there you are, you have an idea. There you are, you got something you want to do. But now you have a barrier. Every idea comes equipped with a barrier. It's the truth. Every business idea you come up with, it comes fully equipped with barriers. What are the barriers? A lot of cases, money is a barrier. This is Dani Johnson. Here today, we are redefining success. Here every day on the Dani Johnson Show, we redefine success. What do I mean by that? Listen, today with the focus on entrepreneurial mindset, we've interviewed two of our clients who are entrepreneurs, very, very successful business people. We're getting underneath the story, like how did they start? What were the pitfalls? What were the mistakes that they made? What were their failures? What were their great successes? And why? Because whether you're an employee or you're a stay-at-home parent or you're an entrepreneur, the entrepreneurial mindset needs to be used in every category of your life. You see, I started off as a young entrepreneur. I raised my kids with the things I learned in the business world. I learned how to motivate people. I learned how to discover different personalities and how to motivate each personality through my business. So as I started giving birth to other humans, I'd use the same exact communication skills that I used in business every day that I use now with my children. Same with my relationship with my husband, with everything, with making making investments, personal investments, having dreams and goals as a family. I learned all of that stuff from the business world. And so it's important that you use that entrepreneurial mindset if you want to have a successful family. And again, that doesn't necessarily mean financially successful, unless, of course, that's one of your goals, or that if you want to have a successful career. All the things we've talked about today completely fit your job, your business, or your personal life. So going back to Kevin Sykes, he said that in college, his motivation for starting his business was to buy beer. He only wanted to make a few $100s extra a month so he could afford as much beer as he wanted to drink. Well, it turned out this little internet business that he started, he was buying products wholesale, selling them retail online, and it was now making him $2,000 to $3,000 a month. He wanted the business to grow. So it came to a point of he had a financial barrier. So Kevin, you had a financial barrier. The only way to cause that business to grow meant that you had to make a healthy investment. How did you break that barrier? Because a lot of people use, I don't have the money to invest as an excuse not to make the investment into the idea.
Absolutely. No, and that brings a great a principle that I learned, and your husband, Hans, has talked about this so much, is that when I started these businesses, I always started out small. I had the blueprint.
Yep.
I knew what to expect. I knew what the market was. And so for me, in order to grow my business, it was simply needing more capital. I already knew what to expect on the other end. And so for me, I started out small and just went bigger, already knowing what to expect, barring something like an economic crash of the economy. Mm-hmm. And so for me, it was pretty simple transition to start making a couple $1,000s a month compared to a couple $100. And that was just because I already knew what the market was going to do. I just needed to be in the market more. I needed a bigger market share in order to make more money.
So you borrowed money from where?
I borrowed money from credit cards. I borrowed money from family. I borrowed money. That's primarily where I borrowed money. It was a stupid thing because it ended up costing me more money in the first place. But I took out small business loans. It was a lot of different places, to be quite honest. Mm-hmm. And I kind of treaded water for several years there.
So what did you do? Do you feel like you made, because this is good, because we're talking about the good, bad, and ugly of being an entrepreneur. So you're saying that first, did you maybe borrow too much money and try to grow it too fast initially?
I actually took a stupid pill at the age of 25. After I graduated from college, 2 years, I took a stupid pill and decided I was going to buy a home for $200,000, only on an income of $30,000 to $35,000. So I took a stupid pill, and so basically what happened to me is, yes, I was able to find financing and and get the money I needed to purchase inventory and sell it and run my
But you added pressure of a $200,000 mortgage.
Yes.
That was the stupid pill.
Yes.
Versus,
and my personal expenses were eating through my profit on the business side. My business side, I used warrant debt. I kept my overhead low, but the personal side was eating right through my profit.
That's right. And people do that. I made that mistake as well. And a lot of entrepreneurs, if they have a financial failure, it is that they grow their lifestyle faster than their profits. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And you cannot grow your lifestyle faster than your profits. It's almost like, oh my gosh, I'm making so much money over here. Oh, and I can see the projections and it looks like we're going to do really well over there. And then we buy a house or we buy a new car, we finance the car, we start buying new clothes, we start living stupid, we start, drinking expensive wine, eating out more. Now we have crazy high expenses and not enough money to pay it. Creates a lot of pressure. This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue with more right after this.
Hey, have you done a favor for your best friend yet? Then do it now. Share this program with them. The Dani Johnson Show, helping hundreds of thousands of people just like you make life more enjoyable and rewarding. The Dani Johnson Show.
Do you want to win your favorite nonprofit some money? Could your nonprofit use part of $1 million? The Super Service Challenge is a nationwide movement encouraging people to serve the charity of their choice, better their community, and share about how they volunteered. Participating is easy. Grab some coworkers, serve the nonprofit of your choice, and create a short video telling your story at superservicechallenge.com or by using the free downloadable app. Ask family and friends to vote for your video on Super Service Challenge website. Every 25 votes gets you one more entry into the prize drawing. If your video is selected as a winner, the nonprofit you serve will receive part of $1 million in prize money. They've given away almost $3 million in funding to great causes in the past, and a nonprofit of your choice could be next. The Super Service Challenge accepts entries through November 30th, 2014. So what are you waiting for? Go to superservicechallenge.com and sign up now. That's superservicechallenge.com.
Are you a talented actor, model, singer, or dancer? Have you held back because you don't know where to start or who to trust? What if your time was now? Actors, Models, and Talent for Christ is coming to a city near you. Go to amtcaudition.org for a list of cities and dates. AMTC is a nonprofit ministry with a mission to find, prepare, and launch God's talent. The entertainment industry is the most influential mission field in the world. Actors, Models, and Talent for Christ. amtcaudition.org.
Helping you get a grip on your priorities and your focus. The Dani Johnson Show.
Here's Dani Johnson.
You better not be living above your means, because if you are, it's going to hurt you if it isn't hurting you already. Today on the Dani Johnson Show, we're interviewing a couple of our clients. Kevin Sykes actually joins us now. He's actually a partner of the Dani Johnson Show as well. You've heard he has merchant services, and he actually commits to, if he cannot save you money on your merchant services, he's going to give you $100. So you should at least give him a call. I'll have him give you his phone number here in a minute. But we're talking about the success in business and entrepreneurs, that entrepreneurial mindset. Now, again, if you are a employee or you are a stay-at-home parent, you might be thinking this show doesn't apply to you, but it perfectly applies to you, because to succeed in any area of life, you literally need an entrepreneurial mindset. You have to be a risk taker. You have great successes, you have great failures, and you got to persist through the failures and make sure you learn something from the failures. We just finished hearing from Kevin Sykes about his first businesses that he started. And again, you might have a little entrepreneur in your house, right? Wanted to have a garage sale or have a lemonade stand. That's exactly how Kevin Sykes started out, which is so adorable. In college, wanted to drink more beer, so he started a business so he could buy as much beer that he wanted. That little business that he started online started making him $2,000 to $3,000 a month. Today, he has several businesses. Very, very successful entrepreneur. One of our clients who has been very, very faithful to what we do as well. Kevin, so you said 25 years old, you graduated from college, you got this great business, you got this great business plan, the business is making money, you start living above your means, counting on your projections of where you think your business is going to go. That was definitely your first business failure. By far.
That was definitely my first. That was my first real valley in business, because what I actually had to do, it forced me to then move in with my parents at the age of, I think, 26 or 27. I was in that house for a year.
Wow.
And I was forced to do that because I couldn't meet ends, and so that home that I just fell in love with actually became a rental home that I lost money on while I lived with my parents.
Wow. That just stinks. Now tell me, how were you feeling when you had to move home with mom and dad? Because sometimes we have to do that. When many entrepreneurs, we all face very humiliating times. And honestly, everybody in life faces humiliating times. But the difference between those who are successful and those that are not is what we pull out of the humiliation. Either we stay humiliated, we beat ourselves up, we beat ourselves down, and we say, forget it, I wasn't meant to be a successful business person, forget it, I'm giving up on the dream, I'm just going to go work at McDonald's. The one who goes and succeeds is the one that goes, all right, I messed up. I got to fix this thing. So how did you handle that?
Well, at that time when I did move in with my parents, I had already amassed a good amount of debt because I was running a business essentially from credit cards, because I was allowing my personal expenses to eat me up. I had credit card debt, $50,000, $60,000, $70,000, actually up to about $90,000 at that time. And so I was definitely in the negative as far as what I had inventory-wise compared to my business. And so I was running an inventory-based business. And so I had to really choke on my ego and move back in with parents. And the funniest thing happened. My finances started to turn around because my expenses were all of a sudden a lot smaller. So my, at the age of 27, I'm living with my parents, but at the same time, my finances started to turn around.
Awesome.
And I started to pay off that debt because I didn't have those expenses every single month. And then that point in time, age of 27, 28, that is when I started a home-based business. So this would have been business number 2 that I started at that time, at the age of about 28.
Mm-hmm. Which honestly, the other business that you had too was a business that you worked from home. So we're just talking about a little bit of a different model. But it sounds like
Yes.
the business that you've always built are something that you could do with your computer and a phone, basically, is the kind of businesses
Yes.
that you did. That's awesome. Now, obviously, you
Right.
swallowed the humble pill, ate some humble pie, started paying off your debt, and started growing your income again. Now, Kevin, today you have a merchant services business as well as several other businesses, mostly online businesses. What does your life, your success look like today?
Well, before we started coming to the events, this was about 2 years ago. I was debt free on my side, but I married Melissa and kind of inherited some of her debt, about $43,000 worth of debt at that time. And so we got married shortly before we started attending the events, and since then we basically paid off all of her debts, $44,000 within 11 months. Became entirely debt free. Prior to going to the events, my wife was attached to her computer for 12 to 16 hours a day, and it was dealing with the home-based business. And so now we've been able to work part-time. Now we've started new businesses. Our income has doubled in the last 2 years. We've started new businesses just in the last 2 years. And so success for us, it's a happy marriage. It's an amazing marriage for us. But above all that was a rejuvenation of our faith, and spiritually. And so, it's success for us is the whole picture. We've really asked for the Lord's wisdom, and success has been not only financial, but it's been our family. Because if you have problems at home and you have frustrations with marriage, that's just going to bleed into business. And so for us, it's the whole picture for us.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell us a little bit about the merchant services and how people can get a hold of you with your merchant services.
Sure. Absolutely. Well, merchant services, we stepped out on faith again with a business partner a while back, and it was really intriguing to us because it's an industry that, unfortunately, if you are a business owner, you already are involved with merchant services, credit card processing.
Yep.
But the problem with the industry is and I guess this is business in general, but especially with this industry, there's so much dishonesty, so much over-promising and under-delivering. And so we wanted to kind of go against the grain in what the traditional sense of this industry was, and basically, offer people, great service, honesty, and basically help, especially small and medium businesses and even large businesses, thrive in an economy that just flat out stinks overall. And so we've been very successful in that, and we've, based on a lot of the people skills, I would have never been to have done this business, bottom line, merchant services, if I didn't have the people skills that I learned at the events, because I was flat out a terrible, terrible communicator 2 years ago. Now I'm on the phone with CEOs, presidents, owners of companies. That would have never happened before because I didn't have the people skills for it, to be quite honest.
Wow. So he's talking at the event that he keeps mentioning is First Steps to Success. Again, that's First Steps to Success. You can find out more about that event at DaniJohnson.com. The next First Step to Success is in Austin, Texas. It's worth it to fly from China. It's worth it to fly from Australia. There will be people flying from Australia. There's always people flying from South America, from Europe, from Canada, from Mexico. There's people who come from Central America. Every single First Steps to Success that we do, we have multiple different countries that are represented. People fly from all over the world. Texas no longer seems like it's very far away now, does it? Especially when there's people coming from Australia or London. So you can get your ticket immediately. That's the event he's talking about that helped him to double his income as an entrepreneur, pay off $44,000 worth of debt in 11 months, have a flourishing relationship with his wife and new baby boy, and be working part-time. So we've heard your advertisement on this show. We really appreciate that you've been a faithful supporter of the Dani Johnson Show. What's the phone number? Because you have a great offer, and I think people should take advantage of it, that if you are in business and you use merchant services, you use a credit card, meaning you use credit card services in order to sell your goods, whether it's online or offline, you need to give Kevin a call. He has a commitment that if he cannot save you money, he's going to pay you $100. $100 is $100, baby. So Kevin, what's the phone number, how they get a hold of you?
Yeah, there's two ways of getting hold of us. You can go to our website, which is prestigemerchantsolutions.com, or you can simply call call our office. It's 850-200-0709. And, basically, if we can't save you money and you're operating a normal business that operates a couple $1,000s or more per month, then we will absolutely pay you $100. We're looking to connect with businesses and help them because it's a service that people already are using.
Yep.
If they're in business usually. So we're looking to help people cut their costs and be more profitable in this, especially in this economy.
And that website again is prestigemerchantservices.com.
Prestige Merchant Solutions.
PrestigeMerchantSolutions.com. Again, that's PrestigeMerchantSolutions.com. And 850-200-0709.
Yes, ma'am.
850-200-0709. I hope you wrote that phone number down, friend. If you're driving in your car, you want to save money on your merchant services, Kevin Sykes is definitely the person we recommend for you to be able to work with. Kevin, thanks so much for sharing your story. Congratulations on your success. I think it's important for people to understand that anybody, anywhere, anytime can start a business. And it all starts with wanting something. And that's where your want was. Whether you wanted toys as a little boy, decided to sell things at the garage sale, you wanted money because you wanted to buy something, or in college, I wanted beer. whatever the motivator is, wanting something different than where you're at. But anybody can start a business. I believe that kids do a very good job of it, as we saw Kevin as a little kid and then into college and then now as a grown man providing for his family. This is Dani Johnson. We'll continue with more right after this.
How to turn a little into a lot. Always question your intent. Dani has helped thousands upon thousands get on track to living a better life. Don't go away. More of the Dani Johnson Show is on the way.
Radio talk show host Dani Johnson in Kadwa, Haiti.
Hi, I'm Dani Johnson, and I'm here with Vida in her tiny little home. This home is the size of many people's closets in the United States of America. Now, we're sitting on a bed, just a piece of sheet or plastic that these beautiful babies sleep on. They have nothing. This family has nothing. No water, no food, nothing. Won't you do something? The Bible says that if you ignore the cry of the poor, then you too will cry and be ignored. They're not asking for nice clothes. They're asking for food. That's it. Food, water. You can help. We want to build her a home. We want to bring water, clean, fresh water here. But we can't do it alone. We need you.
Help us radically change a community. Go to kingsransom.org to make your donation to Kadwa, Haiti. That's kingsransom.org.
If you know me at all, I don't want you to spend a penny more than you have to on anything. This is one of those things. If you're a business owner and accept credit cards, you're paying too much unless you're working with my friend Kevin Sykes at Prestige Merchant Solutions. He is so confident that he can save you money, he'll actually pay you $100. Listen, if you accept credit cards, check it out. Call 850-200-0709. That's 850-200-0709. Kevin guarantees 5-star service. Guarantees he'll save you money or pay you $100. No risk, so why wait? Call today. It's quick to change from your current service, incredibly reliable, 24/7 support, and payments are processed quickly. Tell him Dani told you to call. There's nothing to lose. Call 850-200-0709 or visit them at prestigemerchantsolutions.com.
We're back. Here's Dani Johnson.
So what's stopping you? You might be asking, Dani, what's stopping me from what? What's stopping you from venturing out and doing what you want to do? What's holding you back? There is something, because you're not where you want to be yet. Today, this whole show has been dedicated to entrepreneurs. This show has been about interviewing entrepreneurs and an entrepreneurial mindset. You see, entrepreneurs have something that they want to do. And we can learn from their habits of, I want to do it, so I'm going to go do it. Okay, now, of course, that obviously means that we need to have some kind of good character and high morals. I'm not saying go want something that's bad for you, but what I am saying is that desire. You see, entrepreneurs have a desire. They have a desire to succeed. We've heard so much about faith in these last 2 hours. It takes faith to succeed, and that when you mess up, you got to swallow the humble pill. The difference between Kevin Sykes and Elizabeth Miller and her husband own a pretzel business, the Ben's Soft Pretzels. You can find them in several states around the country. And then Kevin Sykes with his Prestige Merchant Solutions business, as well as other online businesses that he has. The two of them had a little bit of a different path. Elizabeth grew up Amish, so they lived a very, very frugal life. So they did not raise their lifestyle when they raised their income. Kevin, his first business failure was that he raised his income and he raised his lifestyle, and that his lifestyle actually was more than what his income was. And this creates all kinds of financial pressure. So I think the thing that we can learn from Elizabeth is keep your expenses really, really low. Live really, really simple. Now, we could use that whether we work a job or not. I believe that there's great benefit for all of us to live really simple and to keep our expenses really, really low. Don't go into careless debt. It just is a burden, and it messes with your head. It screws around with your confidence, and it shuts off faith. It brings in doubt, worry, anxiety, and fear. And if you're already in debt, get out of debt. Don't mess around with this, my friend. Don't. You cannot afford to open up the door to more fear by getting into more debt. But it's time to attack your debt and to hit it hard. Just as Kevin had said, they paid off $44,000 worth of debt in 11 months. Elizabeth paid off $239,000 worth of debt in less than 2 years. They are completely debt-free. Very exciting to see that anybody can succeed. Kevin, I'm going to bring you up here for this last minute. What advice do you give somebody that wants to succeed as an entrepreneur?
I would say the biggest key, because now we have 4 businesses and doors have really swung open for us. And for me, it's people skills and networking and communication skills. I will tell you that I have networked so much here in the last 2 or 3 years, and it has opened up a crazy amount of doors and crazy amount of entrepreneurial opportunities and people actually approaching me to do things. It's all based on people skills, and putting others first. That is what's really, that, and we started tithing. We started supporting the orphan, and honestly, when we've been faithful with those 2 things, with communication and people skills and the orphan, doors have swung open left and right. I mean, I had new doors open today that I was totally not expecting. I'm astonished.
Yeah.
It keeps happening.
It is amazing. And I know Elizabeth and her husband also support orphans, and that's a big part of their success as well. And so oftentimes, let me ask you, your success in your early days, right? When you were making money in college and in those first businesses, you weren't giving to anybody, were you?
No. I mean, I was given. I was the charity. I was my favorite charity.
And then you became one.
Yeah, and then I became a charity case. That's funny being on both ends of the spectrum.
It really is. You learn a painful lesson there. But yeah, I appreciate that you have that you've really caught the vision and the revelation of taking care of the poor and the fruit that you're making, that great harvest from these 4 businesses, that it's not just about you. It's not just about your wife. It's not just about your son. It's not just about houses and cars and junk. But it's about living a debt-free, simple life and using your talents and skills and being able to bless other people who don't live in the same set of circumstances that you live in. So you have found purpose for money. How has that changed the way you work?
Well, we're doing something right now currently, and we're doing something for King's Ransom. And when you're not only working for your own goals, and you're actually working for the orphan, it motivates you even more. Plus, it also opens doors and people wanting to work with you, because there's a lot of people with the same mindset as you, and they want to work with people who are generous and who give back and who are genuine and have high integrity. And so, it just keeps opening up doors. And at the end of the day, it feels amazing to be able to build homes for orphans, to feed the kids, to help the helpless. And so it's just we've had a real change of heart here in the last 2 years, in regards to that. And the Lord has absolutely blessed us a hundredfold for the efforts that we've put in. Yeah. And we just continue to see crazy things happening in our lives.
Yeah, come on now. I mean, obviously, doubling your income, that's huge,
At least.
Yeah.
So.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's absolutely amazing. Kevin, thank you so much for sharing today. Thanks for sharing your failures and your successes. And I hope that all of our clients that are that use credit card services for their businesses, that they call you again. That is prestigemerchantsolutions.com. Prestigemerchantsolutions.com. And the phone number is 850-200-0709. Again, that's 850-200-0709. And know that when you do business with Kevin, a portion of any business you do with him is going to take care of the orphan, which I think is awesome. Absolutely awesome. Well, congratulations on your success, your baby, your wife, the debt you've paid off, the money that you've been able to make, and the money that you're giving. That's the most important thing when it comes to money. Anyway, so listen to me, Fred. I don't know about you, but I know that if you decided to take all of these incredible success tips that we've heard over these last 2 hours and you implement them in your job, you implement them in your job at home and or your business, you're going to have greater success today, right? So we see you've got to persist, have an idea, act on it. Don't let your head get filled with fear. Don't let your head get filled with doubt, worry, unbelief. When you make money, don't increase your lifestyle. Keep your lifestyle simple, keep it low so that your business can grow without the pressure of major finances along with the pressure of building a business. When you have messed up, swallow the humble pill and you might eat some humble pie, but don't quit, keep persisting. And when you finally get to the place where you use your business, your skill set, your talent, your ability for something much bigger than you, now that's when you come into greater success. That's when it happens. When you're helping to take care of people like in Kadwa, Haiti, who their whole lives were destroyed in an earthquake and nobody came to help them rebuild. Well, you and I and Kevin are helping to rebuild that. Kadwa, Haiti, go to kingsransom.org. Again, that's kingsransom.org. Begin today, starting to live that life of having a dream and a goal that's bigger than you, that's actually helping to transform lives, transform a village. We're putting in water supply, building 65 new homes, building a sugar plant to provide 200 jobs. You can be a part of that miracle right now. Go to kingsransom.org. Again, that's kingsransom.org. Another thing that Kevin said was the thing that changed his business to a whole nother level of success was learning powerful people skills. I hope you join me at DaniJohnson.com so you can learn some of those powerful people skills that he learned at First Steps to Success. God bless you. Have a great rest of the day. This is Dani Johnson.
You've been listening to The Dani Johnson Show. It's our belief that you can live a better, healthier, happier life. All you need is a little encouragement. Get that and more on the next Dani Johnson Show.
Radio talk show host Dani Johnson in Kadwa, Haiti.
Hi, I'm Dani Johnson, and I'm here with Vida in her tiny little home. This home is the size of many people's closets in the United States of America. Now, we're sitting on a bed, just a piece of sheet or plastic that these beautiful babies sleep on. They have nothing. This family has nothing. No water, no food, nothing. Won't you do something? The Bible says that if you ignore the cry of the poor, then you too will cry and be ignored. They're not asking for nice clothes. They're asking for food. That's it. Food, water. You can help. We want to build her a home. We want to bring water, clean, fresh water here. But we can't do it alone. We need you.
Help us radically change a community. Go to kingsransom.org to make your donation to Kadwa, Haiti. That's kingsransom.org.
You tell yourself that life isn't that bad. You relish the small pleasures. Drive-through coffee, big screen TV, vacations bought on credit cards. But that's as good as life gets unless you take a leap of faith. This is millionaire, author, radio and television show host Dani Johnson, inviting you to join me for 2 days where you will acquire the skills to make the life you crave a reality. Call now 844-200-DANI or visit firststepstosuccess.com.